Buenas and half a day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here this afternoon and many God's blessings to all of you. I know the week coming up, this weekend is Mother's Day, so to all the mothers out there, I want to wish them a very early happy Mother's Day. And we're going to do a certificate of recognition this afternoon, and I want to thank my colleague, Senator Joanne Brown, for joining me for this very special certificate of recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, Certificate 229-37 LS is recognizing the volunteers of the Western Pacific Veterans Community, which is the WPVC, and the Vets to Depths Initiative for their efforts in the depredation and the eradication of feral hogs in Guam, and to commend them on safeguarding our ecosystem, protecting our agriculture, and preservation efforts of native species. I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, that your work is invaluable, and we know of many, many of our Menamco who are too afraid to leave their homes because of how vicious wild pigs are in their backyards, and the damage wild pigs can cause is immense. From environmental issues like erosion to economic issues with the loss of produce in farms around our island. We appreciate the work that you do, and it goes a long way to helping our island. And with that being said, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I have 6 certificates up here, and I'm going to have Senator Joanne Brown literally help me give these certificates. And before we do that, I want to say a special thank you to Master Sergeant Harmon. I know that Marlene Revo, yes, give him a round of applause. Marlene Revo had asked me to work on these certificates of recognition, and I told her that I would really be honored and humbled to do this, working with the Air Force Squadron, the LRS Squadron that's out here and the 36th Wing up at Anderson. And I said, because I'm very familiar about what feral hogs and pigs can do to our island and to our environment. And I was sharing with Master Sergeant William Harmon. I said, how many catches have you done in one setting? And he said, about 15. I said, you know what? The one I set up to see how USDA and other volunteers can help, in one setting, I showed Senator Joanne Brown, they caught 11 feral pigs. And I said, and I have the proof. I have the photo right here showing how much feral pigs were caught in one setting. And it was not just trying to take care of an issue that was affecting a family and an elderly from getting into her vehicle, but it was really just being afraid that these feral pigs were so rampant. They were around, and after Marwar, the village in one of the villages here in the central area, we couldn't get the traps out in time, but they were coming into the villages, into the housing area. And it just, it's the efforts that you volunteers do that help make a difference and help with the eradication. And I was talking to Master Sergeant Harmon, and I was telling him, I said, I wonder if we can get the count of how many feral pigs here in Guam. We know that there's like 60,000 feral dogs and boony dogs out there, but how many feral hogs and pigs out there? And I said, I think it's about 50,000. He said, yeah, you're probably right. And I said, I think there might even be more. And it is programs like this that help make a difference. So Senator Joanne, if you can just help me, I think we're going to present the first one to Western Pacific Veterans Community Foundation, please. Yes. And when you get the certificate, please stay up here. Thank you so very much for your volunteerism. Let me shake your hand. And then the next one, we have 36 LRS Squadron and the 36 Wing Anderson Air Force Base, Chico, Guam. Please come on up. Give them a round of applause. Okay. Stay up there. And then Master Sergeant Mr. William Harmon. There you go. Senator Brown, we have Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District Board. We have Marlene Revo here. Yes. And we also have Marlene. This is for you personally.
Thank you.
And then we have Mr. Edward George. Is Mr. Edward George here? He's in Alaska, so maybe someone can come up and receive the award for him. Please come on up. You know what? Let me go ahead and read the certificate of recognition also. Like I said, this is certificate number 229-37 LS is sponsored by myself, Senator Joanne Brown, and the rest of the members of the 37th Guam Legislature, and it's presented to the named volunteers, and it's for your volunteer efforts in the depredation and eradication of feral hogs in Guam through the Western Pacific Veterans Community, the WPVC, the Vets to Dep initiative, and commending you on safeguarding our ecosystem, protecting agriculture, and preservation efforts of native species. The Committee of Rules of Imina 37 na Legislatura Guam herein directs that the official expression of its recognition and commendation be forthwith sent on behalf of Legislatura Guam and her people of Guam. Ladies and gentlemen, this was signed and sealed in the city of Agana on the first day of May 2024. It was signed by our Speaker Terlahi, Senator Chris Barnett, Chairperson on Committee on Rules, our Legislative Secretary, Senator Amanda Shelton, and of course myself as the sponsor, Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes. And at this time, before I yield to anyone who wants to share the mic, I'd ask Senator Brown if she'd like to say a few words too.
I won't belabor. I think our Vice Speaker really relayed a lot of the key points that needed to be said. But thank you, all of you, for your community service and contributing and helping us out with what is and becoming a challenging issue in our community. But thank you. Certainly, protection and preservation of our environment and our health and safety, I think we all agree, is at the top of our list. So thank you for all the work that you do and your contribution to this program. Thank you.
I also told Master Sergeant Hartman that I was going to have him take the mic and say a few words, and anybody else who wants to say a few words, please.
Senator, thank you very much it's an honor to be able to accept these presentations and awards from the Guam community. For me personally, my time here on the island is coming to a close, but it's been a blessing being able to work with the local community, whether that's down in Arahan or up in Jigo. We work all across the island to be able to be one community, right? So at the end of the day, yes, we have talked a lot about how as a whole, the island is struggling with the feral hog population. So if you look at the population and how you have to be able to maintain and control that population, you're looking at 70% of that population has to be actually depredated to be able to maintain the current population. But if you want to reduce that, you have to go beyond that 70%. So just on the northern side of the island alone, we have 12 different types of endangered flora and fauna that we're trying to protect and maintain for the island ecosystem. And as a whole, right, it means a lot to me and to those that are involved in the program, whether that's helping farmers, ranchers, elderly members, non-elderly members that are across the community to be able to actually go and help relieve some of that fear or that frustration of an animal being out there that might attack or might not attack, but at the same time poses a potential threat, not just to the environment or to the community, but just to the island itself. So I appreciate the ability to be able to come up here and have those conversations, to be able to represent our military community up on the 36th LRS side of Anderson Air Force Base, but also I'd like to thank those that have been involved and process with me to make me feel more like a tamale so that I'm a part of the family. So thank you all. So, suyos mase.
Would you like to say a few words? You okay?
Marlene was saying, you're the tallest one. I think she may be right. Anyway, Senator Barnes, Senator Brown, thank you for the support, and to the rest of the Guam legislature, we thank you for your support. Marlene has really been the one spearheading the Western Pacific Veterans Coalition. She has been networking, and if you were to see all of the chats he sends out to all the different people involved, she's a busy lady. So I want to, on behalf of the Guam community, I think Marlene has been recognized through the certificate presented to her today, but personally, I think she really does deserve that certificate. And everybody else that is supporting the effort, thank you also.
Thank you. You sure? With that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. And at this time, we'll go ahead and take some official photos. You're more than welcome to come up and join us. All those in uniform, please join us up here. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you.